All right, nobody's here yet. Thank goodness. I am running late this morning. I apologize. Had a client right up until 10 o'clock. Okay, let's get right into it. We've got our strength training workout today. Equipment you will need is a yoga block or thick book. I'm going to be using a yoga block, but a dictionary-sized book also works. You're going to need a pair of hand weights. I'm using dumbbells, but you can use food cans. You can use 2 full water bottles. You can use hand weights if you have them at home, like dumbbells or kettlebells, light kettlebells. And that's all you really need. A mat or towel or something to put on the ground for the core work and some water, and we'll be good to go. All right, let's dive into it. Can adjust the lighting as I go. As per usual, sorry for the lateness this morning. I don't normally have clients scheduled right before. Let's do our arm circles. 10 back, 10 forward. Don't normally have them scheduled right before, but I'm going to have the same schedule next week. So I might have to change the class time to like 10:05 or just be a little bit late because it's a bit of a scramble going from training session to class stream. All right, when you get to 10 back, you're going to do 10 forward. All right, we'll get a little bit of movement through the thoracic spine or the mid-back, so nice wide stance and reaching down towards the floor, and then we are going to rotate upwards towards the ceiling, reaching that arm towards the sky, alternating sides, and we're going to do 5 on each side. By the way, we've got the same format as we've had for the last couple weeks today. So going for just regular sets and reps, no circuits, no supersets, none of that fancy stuff. Just going for straightforward strength training. All right, leaving the legs wide. We are doing, I can't speak. We are doing some lateral lunges later. So we're going to pay special attention to stretching the adductors on the insides of the thighs. So pressing back through the hip from the side. You don't want to bring the knee forward. You want to push the butt back. So you're stretching down and back over the heel. Coming down only as low as you can. You just want to feel a stretch in that straight leg, on the inside of the straight leg. You don't have to be like ass to grass on the ground. And we're just going to go for 5 on each side. Nice and slow. Really focus on getting the stretch. This is not about speed. Stretching should never be about speed. I am very tight today. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Bringing the feet together. Let's do some knee pulls before we do our leg swings. So if you need to hang on to something for balance, you can do a single arm knee pull, or if you don't need balance, then you can use both hands to pull those knees in towards the chest, or the stomach rather. And we're just doing 6 on each side. Stretching out the glutes a little bit. Giving the lower back some relief. And then we're going to finish up with 10 leg swings on each side. So again, if you need to hang on to something for balance, please do. This is not about balance. This is about loosening up the hips. So forward and back 10 times on each side, letting the leg just be loose like a pendulum. I actually need to hang out just like that. All right, when you get to 10, one side, same thing on the other side. All right, we're ready to go. So starting off with our core work, we are going for some starfish crunches. Let me, again, adjust this so that the lighting is good. It's a constant battle with the brightness from my window. Okay, so our starfish crunch is going to be a wide arm, wide leg position. Arms overhead as much as you can. I don't have a lot of room here. But then we're bringing our opposite arm up towards the opposite leg. So you can keep the head flat and just reach to touch the knee on these, or if you want to increase the challenge, you're actually coming up off the ground, alternating sides. The legs do not need to be perfectly straight on these. I'm not concerned with that. I always have a slight bend in my knee. There's nothing wrong with it. So pick the level that feels right for you, either staying flat on the ground and just reaching for that opposite leg as it lifts, or bringing the shoulders up with you as you reach. The higher you come up off the ground, the harder it's going to be. So just find the position that feels right for you. We're going to go for 30 seconds and we're going to do 3 sets as per usual. I will time on my stopwatch, so don't worry about timing at home. This is the one area where I can be trusted to count. So don't worry about that. And go ahead and get in position. Get ready, set, and oops, go. There we go. Less than 10 seconds left. There's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And there's our first break. All right, now I take 30-second rest breaks in between these. You can take longer. I feel like I say the same things every week, but I can't assume that it's always the same people watching these. So you can just tune me out if you've heard this a million times before, but I take 30-second rest breaks for most things because that's what feels comfortable for me. But if you need to take longer rest breaks at home, you can. If you want to take shorter rest breaks at home, you can. You can time your own rests to fit what feels right for your body. You generally don't want to do longer than like a minute or two, because then it's kind of working against the muscles. Just because they cool down too much, they lose the length that you've given them and the stretchiness. All right, round 2 and go. Halfway. And 3, 2, 1, and break. Second rest break. And we got one more set. And then we're gonna do some side planks. I will give modifications, multiple levels of side plank. You can pick the one that feels best for you. A few more seconds to rest. Yeah, I didn't really have anything else to say. I was just gonna say, nope, I had nothing. That was it. All right, last round. Get in position. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Ten seconds left. And 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, so take a break, grab some water if you need it. We're going into our side planks. So side planks, super, super good for your oblique stability. So I feel like the most common thing when people talk about the core is they think it's just like abs, like six-pack abs is your core. It's not true. Basically, your core is, if you cut off your arms and legs and your head, I guess, everything left is the core. So it's like from here to here, this entire trunk unit is your core. There's a ton of muscles in your core. All of them are super important because your core is what supports your spine. It's what keeps your hips stabilized, which in turn keeps your knees stabilized and your ankles. It's all connected. It's all related. So my point being, our side planks are a really good stabilizer for your obliques. So the obliques are the muscles that run down the sides. You've got external on the outside and then internal on the inside. And they're really good for pelvic support. So that's what we're working on next. Level 1. I do these down on my elbow because up on the hand can hurt the wrist or be bothersome on the wrist. If you want to do them up on your hand, that's perfectly valid. That's fine. But regardless of hand or elbow, whatever you are supporting yourself on, it needs to be directly under your shoulder, in line with your shoulder. So if you're down here, in line with the shoulder, up on the hand, in line with the shoulder. Level 1, your knees are going to be stacked. I know it's a little hard to see with my dark pants, but knees are going to be stacked one on top of the other, and they're going to be in line with the hips. So you want your shoulders, your hips, and your knees to be in one straight line, so they shouldn't be forward. You can think of it as kind of like an awkward mermaid pose. Like if a mermaid is like hanging out on a rock, then maybe they would sit like this. So from here, you're then lifting up on the knees and supporting yourself on your knees and your elbow and just chilling. Level 2, one foot forward, so always the top leg forward, and one behind, so you're creating this sort of tripod effect, duopod, and then lifting yourself up from there, but again, making sure that the hips and the shoulders are in line. Level 3, which is the one that I'm going to be doing, is having both feet stacked one on top of the other, and then lifting up, again, shoulders and hips in line with each other. Okay, pick your level. Pick what feels good for you. We're going to do 30 seconds per side. I'm actually going to start on my left side because I just made my right side tired. But either side can start. It's not important. We're going to do both. All right. Again, I will be timing. Excuse me, on my handy dandy stopwatch here. All right. Make sure that supporting joint, whatever it is, wrist or elbow, is directly under the shoulder. In 3, 2, 1. Lifting up, staying nice and open through the chest so the top shoulder shouldn't be curving in. And we're here for 30 seconds. Keep the head supported. Everything should be one straight line. We're halfway through, a little more than halfway. 10 more seconds. Almost there. Keep breathing. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. And we are immediately going into the other side. And by immediately, I mean slowly transitioning to stall while we get some of our breath back. Okay. Other side in 3, 2, 1. Lifting up, whatever level you're on, making sure that you're feeling the work happening on the bottom side of the body. That is your oblique, stabilizing like crazy. There's our halfway point. Make sure you're keeping your glutes engaged. 10 more seconds. Squeeze your butt. The last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Beauteous. Okay. Now we get a break, and then we do that over again, and then we do that over again. 2 more times. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody's having a good morning so far. It looks, it is actually becoming a beautiful day out there. I am going to open my window while we're taking this little rest break. There we go. I see blue sky and sunshine. Also, apologies for any noise coming in. There's people working on the roof next door. It's a little loud. Okay, round 2, starting on whichever side you'd like. In 3, 2, 1, and lifting up. Elbow just made a fun crunching sound. It's always nice. Halfway. And remember, you can adjust what level you're doing at any point. So if you started out on your knees and you're like, that's too easy, then try the next level up. Or you can regress. And 3, 2, 1, and switch. Get in position. And 3, 2, 1, lift. Timer's on. If you want to have your arm up, you can have your arm up. It can help keep the chest open for sure. I like setting mine on my hip. There is our halfway point. Oh, that fresh air feels amazing. 10 more seconds. It also smells really good. Don't normally get that like super fresh smell in the city. 3, 2, 1, and break. All right, one more set. We had rain, like significant rain, and I feel like it just like washed the scum out of the air and everything smells great now. We have one more set. I feel like I just said that, but we do. It's true. One more set, and then moving into our full body workout. Yay! Everybody get excited. Okay. Going into our last plank situation here. Getting in position, and 3, 2, 1, lift up. Timer's on. Stay aligned. You can check your alignment just by looking down your body too, and you'll be able to see if your hips are rotated in weird ways or if your shoulders are rotated in weird ways. You'll see that something is out of whack. So keep an eye on it. 10 more seconds. Almost there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And other side. Almost there, folks. Almost there. And 3, 2, 1. And lift. Super fun, right? Side planks are the best. I actually like side planks a whole lot more than regular planks. I'm not a huge fan of regular planks. They're not my fave. 10 more seconds. Almost there. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Beautiful. Give yourself a pat on the back. Round of applause, whatever you'd like. The core is done. We're actually going to stay on the floor for our first exercise. Sorry for all of my clothing adjustment. I feel like nothing's fitting right today. It's like shifting too much when I move and getting out of place. I'm going to be using a yoga block, but you can use anything that has some width. So you can do like a thick book. I was using a dictionary up until the point where I remembered I had a yoga block and could use this instead. So a thick book works if you have like a step or like a little stool or something. If you have kettlebells of some size, you can actually slide your foot through the handle and use that as a support. Basically, you just want a little bit of elevation with a stable surface that you can put your foot on, because we're doing single leg glute bridges. Now, the elevation is not even required. I think it makes it easier and harder at the same time, in that it gives you more range of motion to work with. So it's a little bit easier to get higher up in your bridge, but when you get higher up, it's also more work for the muscles. So it's like a win-win situation. But you can leave your foot flat on the ground for these two, and it's absolutely fine. You're still going to be working the hamstrings and the glutes. It's completely okay. But either way, your foot is going to be planted. Let's do this on the side where you can actually see. Planted. You're going to be scooched in pretty close to your heel. So you want to make sure that you're not, when you're lifted up at the top of your bridge, you see how my leg is basically at a right angle? What you don't want is to be like way out here past a right angle, because that's going to be really awkward on your lower back. So stay pretty close to your heel, whether or not it's elevated. It's the same for both. Okay, we're doing 12 on each side. Other leg can be in the air, or it can just kind of hang out bent, as long as it's not touching the ground and assisting. Okay, let's do it. 12 on each side, counting for yourselves at home, because you shouldn't be held to the pace that I keep, which might be too slow or too fast for you. So anyway, count for yourselves whenever you're ready, and go. And when you get to 12 on one side, you're going to switch over to the other side. And when you get to 12, take a break. Again, I'm timing in 30 seconds of rest. So you can either follow along with that, or you can time the rest break that works for you at home. We've got 2 more sets of that. We're doing 3 sets of everything today. Yeah. 6 exercises total. We've got 3 for the lower body, 3 for the upper body. Should all be familiar-ish, I believe, if you've been taking my classes for a little while. Okay, going for round 2. Either side can start. Going for 12. And when we finish on one side, switching to the other. And when you get to 12, on the other side, you're taking your second break. One more set. One more. Almost there. Take a drink of water if you need it. Stay hydrated, folks. Hydration is important. All right, I've got about 10 more seconds to rest on my timer, and then going into the final round of these single leg bridges. All right, there it is. Last round. Again, either side can start, as long as you do the same number on both sides. And switch when you get to 12. All right, so hopefully you were feeling that in the hamstring, right along here, and in the glutes. Probably more hamstring than glutes though. Okay, we can switch this back up. Get the light to shift a little bit. Okay, next exercise for the legs, we're doing our split squats. We've done these before, so they might be familiar. They are going to fire up your quads for sure, and then probably a little bit of glute as well. You might even feel it in your calf. If your calves are on the tighter side, I'm going to be using my weights on these, but you don't have to use the weights. You can just do this body weight, whatever feels best for you. So for form, we've got one leg forward, one leg back. This is basically a static lunge. Make sure that your toes are both pointing forward, so you don't want the back foot to be angled out. Both pointing forward, don't fall over. Have no balance today. And then we're going to be dropping down so that both legs are at a right angle and rising back up. So you don't want to put too much weight on the back leg because that's a lot of pressure on the knee when it only has a little bit of toe support happening. So most of the work should be happening in the front leg. And this is just your anchor point. That being said, you do not want to lean forward over the front leg. So don't fall into the trap of coming here and back up, or here and back up. Try to keep the chest open, upper body nice and balanced. You're still dropping straight down, but think about pressing up through that heel. So if you were to not even have that back leg, you'd still be coming down in the same movement. I can't do a single leg squat, so I can't demo that, but you know what I mean. Back leg is just a balance point. We are doing 10 on each side. If that feels like too few, do more. If it feels like too many, do fewer. So I would not do fewer than 6 on each side, and I would not do more than 12 on each side. I would rather that you added weight rather than increased reps. If you are short on equipment, then just increase the reps. But I'd rather you made it heavier than more, since we're focused on building muscle mass right now. Okay, either side can start. Heads up that the second leg that comes forward is going to feel harder because it's already been acting as an anchor in the back on the first round. So for each set, I would recommend that you alternate which leg you start with, just to keep it as even as possible. I'm gonna start with my right leg forward, why not? Again, counting for yourselves at home, we're going for 10 on each side. Yeah, that's it, let's do it. Keep the shoulders rolled back. You can listen to the symphony of my knees popping as we go. Like a nice little drum solo here. They're so loud. And take a break when you get to 10 on each side. As per usual, I'm timing for 30-second rests. And because I started with my right leg forward in last round, this next round, I'm going to start left leg forward to keep that as even as possible. Now, I can do math, and I know that we're doing 3 sets, which means that one leg is going to get a little bit more work than the other. So you generally want to pick your non-dominant side, or whichever leg you use less, because that is generally going to be the leg that is not quite as strong. Therefore, you want to build more strength in it. Makes sense, right? Okay. Round 2 for me. Starting left leg forward. Ready for those knee pops. And whenever you're ready, going into your second set. Making sure that both legs come fully straight at the top. And when you get to 10 on one side, switch to the other. And when you get to 10 on the other side, take a break. Relax for 30 seconds or more. We've got one more set of those, and then one more leg exercise. I promised you lateral lunges, so we are doing lateral lunges or lateral squats, as the case may be. Can you see how messed up my balance is right now? I don't know what's going on. It's a weird day. There's been weird energy in the air all week. I don't know. Might just be me, but this week has felt off kilter so far. Okay, for no discernible reason. Going into our last round, again, weighted or not, totally up to you. Weirdly enough, my right leg is a little bit weaker. So I'm going left leg forward first again. I say weirdly because I'm right-handed or right dominant. And when you get to 10 on one side, you are switching legs and doing 10 on the other. And when you get to 10 on the other side, you're taking a break. You're also done with split squats. Doesn't that feel nice? Okay, so lateral lunges. Weighted or not, I will leave that up to you. I will be using same dumbbells. You can use, if you have light hand weights at home, like if you're using food cans, just use them. They only weigh about 1 pound each, unless it's like weirdly heavy food, but they should only weigh about 1 pound each. And so they're not going to make it so much more challenging that it'll be like the make or break of being able to do the exercise. So I would just default to having them. If you have hand weights that are like 5 pounds or more, play it by ear. You might just want to stick with body weight, but depends on how you feel. Okay, so level 1 or progression 1, we are starting with a lateral squat. So nice wide stance in the legs. Toes are pointing forward, so you don't want them out. You want them like you're on very wide train tracks. This is basically the exact same thing that we did in our warm-up, but we're doing all one side at a time, and we're doing 10 on each side. So, or no, sorry, 8 on each side. Don't listen to me. 8 to 10, depending on how you feel. Same thing, coming down over the leg, pressing back through the butt, keeping the weight over the heel, and coming down as low as possible. The straight leg is staying super freaking straight. Do not let that leg bend. It's one time where I'll say maybe lock your knee, but don't like lock it, just keep it straight. Coming down, and then pressing back up to standing through the heel, and then same thing, down to the side, back up to standing, down to the side. If you want more of a challenge, you can step wider and get down lower. Level 2 or progression 2, you are stepping into that movement every single time. So instead of staying planted with the wide feet, you are stepping out and into the lunge, and then back to the center, out into the lunge, back to the center. Now, if you have weights, I will have weights. They are hanging and then coming down towards the foot and then back to the sides, down towards the foot and back to the sides, okay? That's it. That's all you need to know. Make sure that the back is staying flat. And again, the knee should not be coming forward too far over the toe. So it will come forward. Let's do this from the side. It will come forward so you can see my foot. But see how if you were to put like a ruler there, the knee and the toe are perfectly in line. What you do not want is to put the weight, see, it hurts. It'll feel bad and wrong. Don't put the weight forward over the knee. The weight stays back over the heel. And it's okay to have some bend in the upper body to allow for that. Okay, let's do it. I've talked too much, as always. 8 on each side. I'm going to start on the left, just because. Counting for yourselves at home, picking the level that feels right for you. These are not fast. You are taking these slowly and carefully and focusing on form. Form is more important than anything else because form is injury prevention. So when you say not getting injured is more important than anything else, same thing. Same thing. If you're doing it correctly and safely, you will not hurt yourself. When you get to 8 on one side, you are switching to the other side. One side will probably feel either easier than the other. My right side is a lot more mobile, so this feels much, much more natural. Again, right dominant. But try to challenge your non-dominant side to get a little bit lower. When you get to 8, take a break. I'm going to take my usual 30 seconds. Then we're going into set number 2. Then we have one more after that. And then we move on to push-ups. Push-ups. We have a push-up variation, which means that it's slightly different. Try to keep moving a little bit on your rest breaks if you can. If you're wiped out, it's okay to sit. But try to stay a little bit warm. Try to keep the muscles active. All right, going for round 2 when you're ready. Again, 8 on each side. You ask, why do we only do 8? Because they take freaking forever. And also, that's hypertrophy rep range. Like muscle mass rep range is on the lower side, but they also take forever. Would you want to do 15 of these? I think not. All right. I mean, maybe you would. Not everybody hates lunges. I like lunges. When you get to 8 on the other side, take a break. Okay. One more set. Closing in on finishing off the legs. Exciting times. Whew. I've broken a sweat. There is sweat. Nobody needs to know this, but I like telling people things they don't need to know. My Christmas cactus is blooming. Look at this beauty. Look at her. She's gorgeous. She's amazing. But you know what? My allergies hate her, and I've been sneezing all morning. I say worth it because she's glorious. But my goodness. Such an itchy face right now. See, nobody needs to know that. Just fun information for you on this lovely Wednesday. Okay, we're going into our last set. You can always mute me, you can just make me shut up. Going into our last set, 8 on each side. Whenever you're ready. Remember to keep that straight leg straight. And when you get to 8, switch sides. Okay. Do. Almost there. When you get to 8, the legs are done. Yeehaw! Woohoo! Fan-freaking-tastic. All right, moving on to our push-ups. Now, I should clarify that the push-up variation is only going to happen if you're doing your push-ups on the floor or like not against a wall. You have to have a certain level of horizontalness to make these work. We're doing rocking push-ups. So you can do regular push-ups against the wall. You can do regular push-ups against the countertop. If you're doing your rocking push-ups, you're either going to be on your knees, on your toes, or against, you probably do these against a couch, something that's like a little bit closer to horizontal. Basically, yeah, you can do them against the couch here. So it's what it sounds like. Adjust the lighting again. You'd think that they would figure out how to balance it, but no. Okay, so if you're on your knees for these, same push-up form always applies. You've got your pelvis tucked, so none of this like low back arching stuff. Pelvis tucked, glute squeezed, and make sure that the lower back is protected. So when your pelvis is tucked, your core is engaged, your glutes are squeezed. Your hands and arms are going to be in pretty close to the sides on this one. It's more of a tricep push-up than it is a pec push-up, which is fine because we love our triceps. They're necessary too. So if you're on your knees, you're starting in a child's pose position. Back on the heels, arms are stretched straight out in front, a little wider than shoulder width. You are rocking forward, keep that tailbone tucked, and you are coming down as low as you can, and then pressing back. So you'll see what I mean when you come down into that position, that the elbows are staying in pretty close to the sides. So if you're on your toes, I'm going to try this on my toes. We'll see how it works out. It's basically the same thing, except you're rocking backwards onto your toes. So from here, you're pushing backwards, staying on the toes, then coming down. Rock backwards on the toes, and then come down. So same concept, just slightly different form, okay? We're doing 10 of these babies, 10. Now, if you get to 8 and it's too hard and you can't do 10, it means that you need to level back 1. I would really like to get 10 out of these. So if you're on your knees, maybe move to the edge of the couch or a chair, a stable chair that's like against a wall so it doesn't slide. Or maybe just stick with the wall or a countertop. If you get to 10 and you're like, psh, what was that? Didn't even feel it. Nothing. Then you need to advance yourself to the next level. Okay? Okay. 10. Here we go. Here we go. Will I fail? We'll see. but I'm gonna try them on my toes. Don't watch me though. Do your own thing at home. Okay, round one, whenever you're ready, counting for yourselves, and go. When you get to 10, take a break. Okay. You might feel this in your quads too. Totally normal, totally fine. They are flexing and extending every time you come back and forward. And we also worked them when we did our leg exercises. So if they're already activated, they'll be feeling stuff. Mine were. It's not a bad thing. All right, we're doing 2 more sets of that. And then moving on. I'm warm. Let's open the window a little bit more. Shall we? All right. Let's go into round 2. Why not? If you need to take a longer break, take a longer break. If you've already started on your second round, don't even listen to me. Just keep going. Keep going. And again, use your first round to figure out what you want to do for the second. So if the first round was too hard, you need to take it back a progression. If the first round was too easy, you need to take it up a progression. Okay? Okay, let's do it. I lost count. Ugh. I had literally nothing else to think about, and I forgot to count. Honestly, my brain sometimes, I question it. Anyway, when you get to 10, take a break. I'm going to time for 40 seconds because my arms are beat right now. And I personally would like a longer break. Again, you do not have to take the same amount of rest every single time. If you're feeling particularly tired, take a little bit longer. If you feel more energized, take it shorter. It's fine. Whatever you want to do. The world is your oyster. The workout is your oyster, I should say. Okay. Getting ready for one more round. This is it, folks. Moving on. After this, I think I'm going to take these. No, I'll stay on my toes. Why not? Okay. Whenever you're ready. Last 10. Oh, barely moving anymore. Almost there. Woo! Alrighty. Shake it out. We're actually going to be down on the ground for the next one too. But if you need to get up and move around, go for it. That's fine. We are doing renegade rows. And Again, multiple progressions for this, but you will definitely want your hand weight. The heavier the object, the better on these. Now, I know I said that we were done with core, but this is like sneaky core. So I'm sorry, but it's also a really good stabilizing exercise. So multiple progressions, level 1. One weight. I know that, well, you can have 2, but some people are bothered by having to put weight on dumbbells rather than on the ground. So you can kind of feel it out, see what feels good. But level 1, you're starting in a quadruped row. So let me angle myself so you can see from the side here. So quadruped just means hands and knees. Again, see my spine and how it is one straight line. You do not want this. We're not going for a back arch. We're thinking about keeping that tailbone tucked under, that pelvis tucked under, and the core engaged. Knees are right under the hips, hands are right under the shoulders. If you want to be up on your fist, if it bothers your wrist to lean on your hands, that can help. And then you're pulling back into a row with your weight, back down to the ground, pull back into a row, back down to the ground. So try not to let the shoulders get really tight around the ears. Try to keep them away from the ears. You're not pulling up here, you're pulling back so that your arm is hitting that right angle, and the work is going to be happening along your latissimus dorsi, aka your lat, which is the biggest muscle in your back. So we're doing 10 on each side, 20 total. That's level 1. Now, oh, my neck hurts. Level 2 is going to be also on the knees, but you're going to adopt a stance that's closer to like the top of a, not closer, it is the top of a push-up, like a knee push-up. So same idea, but rather than having the back flat, you're here at an angle, and then same thing, lifting up into your row. Try not to rotate the hips open. You're trying to keep everything square to the ground as you row up, okay? That's level 2. Level 3 / the final level, you're in a full plank position, okay? And you're rowing from here. You can alternate sides, or you can do all one side and then all the other. Completely fine. That applies to all of them. Whichever you prefer, but regardless, we're going for 10 on each side. Again, you will feel this in your core. It is definitely a core exercise. It's also for your back, but it's definitely a core exercise. Okay, 10 per side. Yes, 10 per side. I'm stalling because my arms are tired. Okay, let's do it. Round 1, counting for yourselves at home. Remember, quadruped, forward, or up on the toes. Pick your level. When you're ready, go. If you're up on the toes, the feet can be out wider than they would normally be. And again, focus on keeping the hips from shifting side to side. Hands right under the shoulders. Keep those glutes engaged. Don't let the head drop. Almost there. When you get to 10, take a break. Whew. My core is dying. All right, take a breather. I'm gonna take like 45 seconds because doggy, my arms are feeling it. Whew. My heart's pounding. I haven't done these in a long time. Full disclosure, it's been a while. Now, if you're up on your toes or in that like angled knee position and you are not feeling your core, And it's like 99.9%, I'm pretty sure, because you're letting the hips rotate every time you pull the arm back. If you are keeping the hips steady, it means that you are using your core to keep your hips steady, and you will feel the core. If the hips are all loosey-goosey and going wherever they want, the core is just going to be all loosey-goosey and rotating, and it's not going to be doing much stabilizing. So please try to keep those hips square to the floor. They should not be turning at all. You can imagine if you had like a bowl of water on your butt or on your lower back, it should be not spilling as you move. I said 45 seconds, it took 1 minute and 20. Okay, going into round 2. I'm gonna try this all on one side and then all on the other, see how that feels. You can change it up, whatever feels good for you. And when you're ready, go. This is much better. Almost there. Oh, yeah. There it is. Okay, one more round. We're almost there, folks. Got one more exercise for the upper body after this, and then you're done. You're free to go. One more tip. If you're needing to keep those hips from shifting, the best tip I ever got on that pre-trainer days that I remembered and use to this day is thinking about digging the knee or the toe into the ground on the side that's lifting. So if you're lifting up on the left side into a row, think about like pushing into the left knee or into the left toe. If you're on all fours with a flat back in that quadruped position, your hips aren't really going to shift at all. So you don't need to worry about this. But if you're in that forward diagonal or up on the toes, it is important. So really think about digging that knee or the toe into the ground to help balance, and that will definitely help with the shifting, and you'll feel the core kind of like lock in to support keeping that pelvis stable. Okay, last round. This is it. Here we go. Gotta amp myself up for this. All right, last 10 each side. Almost done. When you get to 10, take a break. Just heard everything pop in my back. Okay, one more for the arms. Ending super simple with an overhead press. What could be easier? A lot is easier, but doing an overhead press, you'll definitely want your hand weights for this one. We're taking a break first, just FYI, because arms are going to be tired after that last one. But overhead press, posture and form, same as everything else. Keep that core engaged. We're not pressing up here. We're pressing here, okay? Elbows are going to be slightly forward of the shoulders. So again, great tip I got from my old boss was think about when you're in class and you raise your hand, where is your arm? It's kind of forward, right? So you don't raise your hand here, you raise it here. That is the path that your elbow should be following. So you're not out wide here, you're slightly forward, because guess what? That's the natural angle that your shoulder wants to be at, is the least likely to injure. So elbow slightly forward towards the chest, And then aiming for, as you press up, the arms to be in line with your ears. So arm in line with the ears, keeping the upper traps nice and relaxed. So we're not pressing here. Keep the shoulders down, pressing up. Starting at 90, ending at 90. So you're not coming down to the sides. This is your home base position every single time. Okay? Okay, let's do it. We're going for 10. 10. 10 is good. Do 12 if 10 is too easy. Do 8 if 10 is too hard. All right. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Keep that core braced. And when you get to 10, take a break. Always try to exhale on the effort, if that makes sense. So when your body is exerting the most effort, that's when you want to breathe out. So as you press up, exhale, inhale on the way down. Okay? And you can kind of hit the cadence of your breathing. So if you're going faster than you can breathe, you need to slow down. General rule. And that goes for any exercise. We're not here for this. We're here for muscle control and care and responsible caution when exercising. Because the worst thing is injuring yourself and then being out of commission for who knows how long. Who knows how long. Okay, round 2. Arms up at 90 and pressing up. And you'll notice, my friends, that the slower you go, the harder it is. You know why? Muscle control. It's harder to make the muscles move slowly than it is to just whip through something. So if you think about what it comes down to is time under tension, which is an actual thing. Your muscle needs to be under tension for a specific amount of time for ideal muscle building or strength building. So the slower you go, the longer that muscle is under tension and working, right? And so it's going to be more challenging and it's going to be more effective. And literally the only thing you're doing is changing the speed at which you are moving. It's the simplest hack that you can do to make something more challenging. Just slow it down. Slow it down. Okay. Last one, and then I will release you into this lovely Wednesday. All right. All right. When you're done, you're done. I'm not doing a cool down today. So if you want to cool down at home, I do encourage it. It is nice to bring the body back to equilibrium in a gradual way rather than all at once. All right. That's it. Thank you for joining. Thank you for doing a workout. I apologize. I did not upload cardio this past weekend. I was not feeling well, but hopefully this coming weekend, I will have some more cardio in place. That's the plan. Next Wednesday, class as always. I might be 5 minutes late because, again, I have a client right before this time. But I'll be here. I don't go anywhere, so I'll be here. Anyway, take care of yourselves, please. Go eat some good food, nourish your bodies, drink water, get some good rest. Get outside if it's sunny, get some of that vitamin D, wear your masks, wash your hands, stay away from people, all that good stuff. I will see you next time.